Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything, continuing with our drawing every country in the entire world's flag. And today, going to be going into Eastern Europe, and we're going to be doing Romania. So Romania, it borders Ukraine, Moldova, Hungary, Serbia, and Bulgaria, and it is on the Black Sea. Romania's changed its borders quite a bit over the past several years, and you've already kind of seen this flag with Moldova. So we're gonna be real quick with this one. And to be honest, guys, Romania, Transylvania, I just want to draw some vampires. So let's get this flag out of the way, and then we can get to the fun stuff. But we do, of course, we have to do our homework here. We have to go over Romanian history a little bit. So Romania is basically created in 1858. The Treaty of Paris forms a united Romania out of the kingdoms of Wallachia and Moldavia. Okay, and then before that, Romania was part of the Ottoman Empire, right? So that's actually kind of where the legend of Vlad Tepes Dracula, that's where that comes from. He was imprisoned in a Turkish prison camp, and then when he got out and fought against the Turks, he was so savage that that's kind of where that myth comes from. But he was a real person. And so 1858 is basically when those treaties form, and then 1862 is the official start of the unified Romania. And Romania, kind of between Russia, between the Russian Empire, they've had issues with France, in like the Napoleonic Wars, and then it's also kind of right up by the Ottoman Empire there. They're just one of those countries that kind of had an unfortunate geography. And let's see here, let me just get one more color out. Yeah, so they wanted to actually remain neutral during World War I, but they actually did not. Eventually they did join the war. They did join the Allies, but then in World War II, they joined the Axis powers, and that's kind of an interesting subject there, just because we'll get to that in a second. So after World War I, though, so before we get to World War II, that's when they actually gain Transylvania, right? So World War I, carving up the entire world, right? That's where the modern Middle East borders kind of come from. That's where you create these kind of unnatural states like Yugoslavia and Romania. They, I guess, kind of got the luck of the draw, and they doubled the size of their country when they got Transylvania. But after World War II, remember, we try to talk about foreign policy like adults here, right? We don't really do good guys, bad guys, or anything like that. War arrives with the seasons, right? Every country has their own interests. It doesn't always line up with your own. So the Soviet Union, right, of course, was already killed tens of millions of people, especially Ukrainians, right? And the people in Kazakhstan, some of those famines. Romania, unfortunately, right, we were fighting for the free world and all that in World War II, but all of Eastern Europe gets swallowed up by the Soviet Union. Romania, no different. Romania, though, and I touched on this with our Moldova video, Romania does not become part of the Soviet Union, but they are Warsaw Pact, right? So they become a communist country. Unfortunately, they get one of the nastier ones as far as your communist dictators go. They have Nicholas, I can never pronounce his name, Ceausescu, and He rules Romania from 1965 all the way up until the fall of the Soviet Union. So 1965 to 1989, Romania, definitely one of the more brutal kind of Stalinist sort of communist powers. And in 1989, when they overthrow communism, they actually execute the guy. So good on them, dead commies. All right, so they have to spend a little bit more time, though, getting communist powers out of their government. So that's kind of what Romania is doing, like in the 90s. And now they're pretty much just, part of the international community with everybody else, EU and all that stuff. So what does the flag mean? It's modeled after the French flag, of course, that tricolor design. The Kingdom of Wallachia is red and yellow, and then Moldavia is red and blue. So you got kind of a mix there of all your colors. And again, it's we're getting close to Halloween here. It's spooky season. Let's draw Vlad the Impaler, right? Because he was Romanian, sort of, right? He was from Transylvania, which of course that doesn't become part of Romania until much later on. And so this guy was a brutal warrior, right, of the martial class here. But he was again imprisoned in a Turkish jail, which I guess even by the standards of their time, those Ottoman Turks were very horrific as far as like what they did to prisoners, right? And yeah, so when he comes out and gets his vengeance, right, he becomes a bit of a kind of like a folk hero. And then, of course, much later on, centuries later, the myth of Vlad Tepes becomes like the Dracula legend, right? So Vlad Dracula, he's got his castle in Transylvania. I remember when I first started like getting into geography as like a kid, I was always amazed that Transylvania is actually like a real place. That was very shocking to me, and I always wanted to go there. So, yes, kind of Romania too. If you look at like their architecture and some of like those like old castles and churches and things like that. When you see old Europe, right, in like a movie, probably a lot of that is kind of in like Eastern Europe, Romania, right? So they still have a lot of kind of those the old churches and buildings and whatnot. So that's kind of cool. Old castles. I always love looking at those. And so he did have pretty long hair. Just want to kind of get this over with pretty quick here. So yeah, because this guy did impale, right, his victims, and Vlad the Impaler, right, he's was a real guy. I don't know where like the vampire stuff comes from, right? Because vampires, I don't think they're really known for like impaling people, right? They're bloodsuckers, turning other people into vampires. But yeah, so I'd have to do more research into that to see where like where that stuff came from. And then we'll do another vampire here. You're gonna do Bella Lugosi, right? That's from the old Universal Monsters Dracula movie. And he's kind of who you think of, right, when when you think of Dracula. He's kind of like the iconic version. And I think Bela Lugosi, I don't think he was Romanian. I want to say he was Hungarian. I think he was a Hungarian Jew. Pretty long career. I always liked that movie Ed Wood. It was a 90s movie, kind of about Bela Lugosi's life, like later on when he's kind of washed up and he's taken on roles that are kind of beneath him. That was always a good movie. But yeah, early Hollywood legend. Just got a little bit more hair over here. Alright, so that's the vampire community, right? Bela Lugosi, Vlad, Tempest, Dracula. So there's Romania. And are we going to do something for Halloween on the channel? I think we will. Halloween is coming up, so there's Romania. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.